And then she responded by saying, LMAO, I would, but I don't know how I'd avoid Steven tonight with a bunch of laughing emojis. And then that was the big revelation because you talk about male intuition. Like one thing you know as a man is that you do not ask a woman if she wants to fuck real quick unless that line has already been crossed. You know,
Yeah,
like
I didn't know any man who would say that if it didn't already happen,
that,
100%.
exactly. So I brought that to her. And then, she just she changed the story. She's like, oh, no, we made out one time. And then I was hounding her more. And she's like, oh, well, he fingered me once. And I'm like, okay, well, now you have three different stories. You have nothing ever happened. You made out one time. You fingered one time. Like, I'm not stupid. You're treating me like I'm stupid. Like, and I told you if you lied about anything, I'm gone. So now I have to be gone. And I basically told her that I was going to wait all of September and go back home in September. Like, I need to get away from everything and everybody just to recalibrate. And so, and it was like we shared an apartment at that point, and like kind of I told her that that was my plan. And like in a weird way, we also kind of like made up, like that was the plan. But, we were kind of still living life as usual. And then like a week or two later, I told her that I was still planning on going down to Virginia. And then she got upset. Like she thought she had smoothed it out over just because she was nice and she probably fucked me at some point that week and thought I forgot all about it. But I was like, no, I'm still going down to Virginia and, taking time away from everything. And then she found that out. She got very upset. It was just a whole thing. There was one night where she was upset and I told her, like, I'm going to Virginia. She was basically asking me to wait until the end of September before I make my decision to end the marriage because it's a 5-year relationship and it deserves time and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't think a month at home is going to make me change my mind about all the shit that I know that you've been doing and this, and that. And then she got mad. She started throwing framed pictures of us, so the glass would shatter everywhere. But it was like, man, if my decision wasn't made at that point, it was made then, like we're done with this. The next day, she's, please wait till the end of September to make a decision. And I was like, yeah, well, based on how well you took the news last night, sure, I'll wait till the end of September to make a decision, right? Like supremely manipulative shit, But I was smart about it though, because I knew while I was gone in September, her brother and sister were coming to visit her from Spain. So basically, I waited until mid-September when I knew they were in the city. And then I called her and then I ended it officially over the phone because I knew she would not do some dumbass shit to do a little bit of tactical planning. So, ended things for real in September. And then we had to fucking share that lease until the end of February. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
Yeah, that shit. So neither of us are making enough money to move out. We ended up sharing the lease. It actually wasn't that bad. We ended up doing like a week on, week off kind of thing where, if she needed the apartment, I had a buddy in Harlem that I would stay with for a week.
Okay.
And when I wanted to come back, she had friends in Brooklyn that she'd stay with, so it ended up like we didn't have to see each other that much, which was very good. But ooh, the one story that I do think is the funnest thing, and I mentioned this to you in the email, was I went to Virginia for all of September, and then I remembered I have a wedding in Virginia in October, like mid October, and so I was like, I'll just stay a little bit longer, but all of my suits are still in the city, so I have to come back up to the city for one night just to grab my suits, and then come back down to Virginia, and I picked a Friday because she's almost always working on Fridays, but just my luck, she was not working that Friday. So she ended up being home when I got there. And this is the funny thing was like, as soon as I got home and as soon as I see her, it's like, I see her face, and it's like, she looks remorseful, like sad to see me. And then like, I don't know if you've ever been to Break Her Upper before. Have you been to Break Her Upper before?
I would hope so.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I would hope so. I would hope I wasn't just always dumped. I would
Yeah,
hope.
exactly. Well, then you know about like the breaker upper guilt. You know what I mean? Like even if you're secure in your decision, usually maybe you let a week go by or whatever, but those thoughts creep back to you. Like maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe we should try to work this out. Like maybe I was wrong. And so when I came back to the apartment for one night to get my suits, I see her face and that breaker upper guilt starts creeping in my head, and I start to feel bad until I went to our bedroom, and in our bedroom, she had left a used condom on my nightstand. We had two nightstands. She had her own nightstand. She left a used condom on my nightstand for me to fucking see when I get there.
I think whoever she had sex with put the condom there, and he obviously put it on your nightstand because he was on that side of the bed at the time that he took it off, and she just didn't move it.
Yeah, exactly. I asked her. I said, I looked at it and I said, that's really nice. And she said, I'm sorry. I was drinking and being self-destructive. And I was like, what, this morning? And then she said 3 days ago. I'm a dude. I have never left a condom out for longer than a night. That's nasty. And like, obviously, she fucking left it out there for me to see, you know? And it's like, I did not care that she was sleeping with other people. Like, dude, I was in Virginia on a Tinder tear, bro. I was tearing shit up in Virginia because I am like,
how are the hoes in Virginia though?
far and few in between. Far and few in between. That's we are so spoiled living in major cities. I swear to God. So it's like, you know, I was on Tinder, but I was also in Richmond, Virginia, which is where, you know, VCU is, and it's like basically the largest concentration of like young people in Virginia. So like when I'm at my mom's place in Fredericksburg, Virginia, there ain't shit. But when I'm in Richmond, you know, we got a fighting chance. That's what I'd say this in a special. That's what happens to men when they go through a heartbreak. They use sex as a band-aid. And especially when you've been cheated on as a man, and especially to the extent that I was, it's like it kind of starts for me. It started as a thing of like, look, I could have been doing this the whole time, you know, like I could have been getting pussy 3 times a week if I wanted, you know, and it started kind of as like as a ego rebuilding kind of thing, you know, because everything is shattered as a man. You know, when you get cheated on, I feel like men are not comfortable enough to talk about how damaging the affair and cheating really is, because every dude wants to be stoic. Every dude wants to be like, yeah, no, I don't need no chick, whatever, it's in the past. But like that shit is so damaging. And it's like you just end up sleeping around a bunch if you can. You know, I feel very fortunate that I was able to have a hoe phase. Most men can't. You know, I did not know what I was doing until I was 29. You know, I never had a hoe phase before. But after that, it, you know, gave me the motivation to be on Tinder and stay swiping on Tinder, stay going out on dates, stay smashing. So it's like I did that.
Like empty though. Like I mean,
at the time, no, because it's like I've been with the same person for 5 years, and also, like I said,
nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. Finding a home is like dating. You're not just looking for a place to live, you're searching for the one. That's where Realtor.com comes in. Like any good matchmaker, they know exactly where to look. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, you could find your perfect match today. Ranch style with a pool, barn dominium with an in-law suite? Realtor.com's got 'em. Modern craftsman with a big yard and a treehouse out back? Realtor.com will have you saying, yep, that's the one. No more swiping. It's time to start finding. Download the Realtor.com app today, cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2025 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. July 2024 to June 2025.
So I know she's been sleeping around. So for me to sleep around feels very gratifying. And also like, and you know, like I also hadn't slept with that many people yet. Like at that point in my life, like I think by the end of my marriage, like, so by the time we basically broke up when I like just before I turned 30. And just before I turned 30, I think I had slept with maybe like 12 people from like age 20 to age 30, you know? So by the time I jumped back in this dating pool with this extra fire in my belly, trying to rebuild a shattered ego, you know, like it was very fun meeting new people, very fun sleeping around. Like I'm an extrovert already. So just meeting hot new people and sleeping with them was the funnest thing.
But I gotta say, like you already said, 85% of the women in New York are starving. So what's the percentage in Virginia?
It's about the same everywhere, but you know, my philosophy with sex and like something that kind of helps me cope through that aspect is like the first time I hook up with a woman, I always say the first time is for me to show you what I can do. The second time is for you to show me what you can do. And the third time is for us to work together, make magic, you know? So the first time I sleep with a woman, I am in fucking show mode. I am like in performance mode. I do not make a bad first impression, you know? So the first time I sleep with a woman, I really don't mind like the pillow princess, the starfishing very much. Like what I care about is, am I making her come? That is all I care about the first time I sleep with someone. The second, if we sleep together again and it's like, boring or they're not pulling
the same. You can't be like, you know, it's so funny because I talk to this guy right now and he calls it zombie. Like, I've never heard that before. Like he had never heard the phrase pillow princess before, and I had never heard zombie. And he's just like, I can't deal with these zombies in bed who make me feel like a necrophiliac. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And so
Absolutely. I completely agree with your boy. And you know what it is to me? You know what a big difference is to me? It's like, I don't mind if you are a little bit lazy or mostly on the bottom, but as long as you are loud, as long as I know I'm doing a good job, then it's fine. Like if you are fucking silent and not moving, then yeah, that's a zombie, bro. That's no good. No one's getting called back after that. Yeah, but anyway, so the thing that annoyed me with the condom though is that it did not bother me she was sleeping with other people. What bothered me is that she's sleeping with other people in our shared apartment, and I still have valuables there, like, and I don't know what dusty ass broke as fuck dude she's bringing home. So it's like I was already in Virginia with two suitcases with like everything I need for a month. I ended up packing a third suitcase with everything valuable that I own for my apartment. And then I was traveling around Virginia for a month with 3 suitcases. Man, the breaker upper guilt evaporated once I saw that condom. In a weird way, was like one of the nicest things she could have done for me because I did not doubt the decision at all. Like I had doubted it before. Like, am I overreacting? Am I this? Am I that? But I did not doubt the decision at all after that.
Oh.
And so that was one good thing to come out of it.
But like, you don't gotta, be specific, of course, but were you calling her out of her name, essentially, when you saw that condom? Like, did you lose it? Or were you more like, okay, I get it?
No, I'm a fucking freak. I picked it up and threw it away. I ain't afraid of a used condom. It's like, I'm like, get this fucking thing off my nightstand, So I picked it up and threw it away. And I don't think I don't think I called her any names. Like, I didn't blow up. It just like was not even worth blowing up at that point. You know what I mean? Like my decision has been made. I am done with you. Like I am not wasting any more energy on you. Like you're nasty. I did not call her out of her name in that argument. But to be fair, when we fought before, there were plenty of times where I was calling her out of her name or saying something rude. And to be fair to me, I was getting it right back. Sometimes she would start it, sometimes I would start it. It was not a healthy relationship. So I'm not saying I never done it, but I did not do it that day because I was just over it.
Yeah, I mean, I never even say that phrase, called her out her name or whatever. Like, because the thing is, it's like, yes, I am going to use certain choice words when I feel that it is warranted. Yeah. I don't really see a point in me refraining from calling somebody an asshole who's being an asshole. Like,
yeah.
I'm being dishonest if I'm not calling a spade. And
Absolutely.
I just put much stock into it if someone calls me a bitch when I'm being a bitch, like, because for sure I'm going to be calling them an asshole and a motherfucker myself. So it's like,
right, exactly. I was like, any name calling, I know it's not good for the relationship, but also it's like, it wasn't unwarranted, it was not coming from nowhere. But like I said, that's like ugly moments in a relationship. I, somewhat regret now and wish I had learned the conflict resolution that I know now, But yeah, at the time it wasn't pretty.
But I mean, that's the thing though. I do truly believe it's like when when there is a couple and the relationship is great / amazing and they break up, that's what's hard.
Yes.
So,
yes.
With you seeing the condom as a final reminder that the woman who told you that she's for the streets remains for the streets.
Yes.
I see a pattern here. I need to be done with this because this is just what it's going to be. So like you said, that was a gift. And so like, it is really heartbreaking. And I have met people where their relationship was incredible and they were together for a very, very, very long time. And they were having sex often the entire time. But it was like for one reason or the other, they broke up. And it's like, these people, they're crushed. And I really understand it because it's like, the relationship was incredible, So like when something bad happens, like cheating usually is what they're referring to, that helps people to move on because they're like, okay, I can't be with this person because of A, B, and C. But when it's really like, okay, but we were in love and happy, but we just couldn't sync up on when to have kids, for example.
Yes.
Because of that, then it's like they really, really struggle to move forward because their relationship
Absolutely.
is amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been saying the amicable breakup is the worst kind of breakup. Like this,
Yeah.
and I've really only had two major relationships, and the first breakup was amicable. It was just like we were kind of both at different points in our life. Neither of us had done anything wrong, and we wanted to. I wanted to split just because like I did a classic fat guy move, right? Because I was a big fat guy for most of my life. I moved to New York. I got really skinny. And then I wifed the first chick that was into me. And by wife, I just mean like, commit to a girlfriend, my first girlfriend. And we were together for 2 years. And, at the end of the 2 years, I was kind of, I was working as a barista at the time. I was getting flirted to at work all the time. And I was like, I want to see what's out there. And that's essentially why we broke up, because I wanted to be a hoe. And I felt awful. I felt awful in that breakup because she did not do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of like a growing apart for a few months, and that breakup was awful because she did not do anything wrong. She didn't do me dirty, and I felt awful about that for a long time. And this breakup with the ex-wife, oh my God, not a fucking ounce of guilt, not an ounce of guilt after that condom. The amicable breakup is significant. I'd say the amicable breakup might even be worse than getting cheated on in the first place. Like, I don't know. That's up to the people to decide themselves.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like, as far as moving on, like when you have like one specific bad reason, it's like, okay, this is why we broke up versus we were amazing together and fucked 3 times a week for 20 years. Like,
right.
Two different things, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's just a lot of things that aren't really discussed, and that's 100% one of them. Like, it's not, people just, you can't put everything under the broken up or breakup umbrella, it's like, right. No, there's really a wide spectrum there. And yeah, it sounds like you like that person or love that person and vice versa, but you wanted to do your thing, even though, like, I guess that person would treat you right or be good to you and wouldn't be, for the streets. But no, I think with cheating, though, it definitely makes people, it's an ego. It's a total assault on someone's ego.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As a man, I don't even imagine, like, I'm sure that makes you like just think things that you don't need to be thinking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's extremely damaging. It's extremely ego shattering, and that was, like I said, another big reason for the Tinder tear while I was in Virginia, which is just rebuilding that shattered ego. Like it becomes a thing of like, oh, look at all these chicks who want to fuck me. Look at all these chicks who say I fuck so well. Everything. Fuck her. She was wrong. And so it is extremely, extremely damaging. Like I was putting getting laid over everything for like a year. Like I did not stop for like a year. I was putting off priorities. I was putting off my own comedy career, like nights I could have gone out to show. It's like I never missed a show that I was booked on, but it's like if there was a night where I could go to see my friend's show or I could get pussy, what do you think I'm going to do? That's what I would do.
We're trying to feel better, and you said like it was validating and gratifying, unlike, when you were in an open, quote unquote, open relationship. You said it made you, miss Carrie more. So I want to get to, obviously you felt confident in your decision after you saw the condom. So did you have contact with Carrie after you guys officially, or just at any time once the official breakup began? Did you have any contact with her? Did you ever try to be friends with her?
I did try to be friends with her because after we broke up, that was like September and October, I was in Virginia, but I came back to New York before the end of October. And like I said, we had to share that lease for like 6 months. So I kind of came back into it like I wanted to be nice. I wanted to be amicable. Like I came back in like kind of trying to play the nice guy. You know what I mean? Like, hey, my decision hasn't changed, but we still have to see each other, like, so let's just try to be as nice as possible.
What were some of the red flags?
Okay, this is my favorite question because I saw something on TikTok the other day that floored me. It killed me.